It looks like cars might be delivered from Giga Berlin and Giga Austin within days of each other. And there's rumors there's a new Shanghai factory going up right near the old one. But what kind of car might that factory make? Let's take a look. And for those of you interested in investing, check out WeBull, an amazing platform for buying and selling stocks, and now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. Open an account and get a free stock valued at up to $200, and fund your account and get another free stock valued at up to $1,600. Check out the link in the description and help the channel at the same time. Hey y'all, it's Dr. Know-It-All. So first of all, a short little announcement about the near-term future. I am going to Colorado to actually ski in Telluride starting this weekend. So who knows exactly how the videos are going to come out in the next few days. But anyway, bear with me. So there'll probably be like a week where there might be a bit of a gap, or you might actually get a couple of quick cuts of me skiing down the slopes in Telluride. Looks like the snow conditions have gotten quite good, but the weather's really unstable. So I'm crossing my fingers. I've never been there before, so I'm hoping I'll actually be able to see some of the mountains around it and not just the slope in front of me, but we will see. Either way, it's going to be a lot of fun. And if you happen to live in the area and you want to contact me, let me know, because my friend broke his ankle and so I'll be skiing alone. So I would love to have some company. All right, so first of all, on to Giga Austin and Giga Berlin. The two factories are opening, it looks like almost simultaneously. If you remember way back in history, the Giga Berlin factory started construction about 6 months before the Texas factory started construction. The famous or infamous German red tape, however, has slowed down the Giga Berlin opening substantially. It appears that there is going to be a delivery ceremony on March 22nd with a backup date of the 23rd in Berlin to officially deliver the first batch of Model Ys to European customers. So that's really exciting news. And of course, as I've talked about on this channel before, on April 7th, Elon Musk has said there's going to be a party in Austin, Texas. I hope I get an invite to it. Anyway, there's going to be a party in Austin, Texas to celebrate the grand opening of the Giga Texas factory. But it doesn't appear that Tesla's going to wait for that grand opening ceremony to start delivering cars to customers. The parking lots are getting quite full in Texas. Apparently there is one more either safety test or environmental test, I'm not sure, but people have been saying one more test, and they say it's the EPA, so it might very well be an environmental test for the car. But anyway, they have one more hurdle. I'm recording this on March 1st. It will probably come out the morning of March 2nd, so who the heck knows between those two times. Tesla might actually be granted the approval, so it could already be a done deal by the time you even see this. So anyway, it should be very, very soon, but reasonably speaking, we could be looking at within the next week to 2 weeks to come out of Austin, so beginning to middle of March, and then March 22nd or 23rd for the Berlin factory to actually start delivering cars as well. So of course that's momentous news for Tesla because they've got one factory in Fremont and one in Shanghai right now, and they're about to not double it immediately, of course, because these factories have to ramp, but their capacity is going to actually more than double because these factories will be able to produce a lot of cars. And of course the cars coming out of Austin will feature the 4680 battery cells, which I have on the merch store. This is a cool sort of blueprinty sort of thing I did, and then Dan added an actual Dr. Know-It-All logo in the middle of it. But anyway, this is the top looking down at the 4680 battery cell, and it's kind of a blueprint looking thing, and it features the tabless design. So anyway, if you want one, definitely grab one in the merch store. And if you happen to be one of the lucky people who gets one of the first deliveries out of Austin, you can actually wear this shirt while you drive the car that has the 4680 battery cells in it. So that would be pretty cool. And in news from much further east, it appears that Tesla has decided they've been casting around in China to create a second factory, and it looks like what they're going to do is just make a new one that's close to where the current one is. So they'll both be in Shanghai. This, of course, is still very much a rumor, so take it with somewhat of a grain of salt. But again, between the recording of this video and when it comes out, who knows, Tesla might actually officially announce the second factory. But it appears that they might break ground on this factory in March, so this actual month, which is pretty incredible. And if the previous Giga Shanghai factory construction is any indication, they might have cars being rolled off the line by a year from now from this new factory. So this is all very exciting news. The current Giga Shanghai factory has a run rate of around 1 million or a little bit more than that cars per year. So they could double that amount in the next few years if they get this thing ramped up. But here's the interesting wrinkle to all of this. There have been some rumors, and these are maybe really, really out there rumors, but there have been some rumors that this new factory is not going to be slated to produce Model Ys or Model 3s or S's or X's or anything like that, but instead is going to be slated to produce the Model 2 or 25,000, or really more realistically speaking, the $30,000 car from Tesla. And again, just to be very, very clear, this is wildly speculative at this point. So there's no evidence for or against this really, except some people saying that they don't think that the new factory is slated to do this. But what are the consequences if Tesla decides to go ahead and create a Model 2 car, right? And more inexpensive car. So the pros to this are, number one, they need a lower cost car now because all of the cars, including the Model Y standard range, have gotten much more expensive over the past year or so because demand and supply have, done that whole thing. So there's more demand, so prices go up. So it would be beneficial for the consumer if Tesla was able to produce a less expensive car. Also, of course, Tesla has promised that they would have a Model 2 car out, so that would be advantageous as well. And additionally, the Model 2 should be much, much less expensive to produce. Again, probably using 4680 battery cells, but with a lithium iron phosphate chemistry or something like that, so it's less expensive to make, or potentially just using something from LG or whatever. But anyway, it could be much, much less expensive to produce. They could have smaller battery packs because the car is smaller and lighter, and it allows them to compete with cheaper Chinese EV brands. So those are in the positive bucket for Tesla. So what's in the negative bucket? Well, number one, they have so much demand for their Model Ys and Model 3s, they can't build them right now at scale enough to satisfy consumer need. So they would have to draw off resources in order to create these new cars, which could detract from their ability to be able to deliver as many Model 3s and Model Ys as possible. Additionally, the Model 2 is going to be a completely new kind of car. So it's not like the Model Y was just a revamp and kind of I guess Model 3 got fatter and turned into the Model Y, right? So there's obviously more advancements to that, but there's a lot of shared parts between the two. So after they ramped the Model 3, they were able to ramp the Model Y much, much more efficiently and quickly. The Model 2 is going to be a whole new car, which at least by indications is not going to share an awful lot of parts with the others. Now, they could of course share motors and things like that under the hood, but the body shape and things like that are going to be substantially different. So that could require some significant ramp up. Also, if they go with more of what my theory is of making something that's tougher and like a stainless steel exoskeleton, like a mini Cybertruck. I did a video on this a long time ago about this. I still think it's a great idea. But anyway, if they do that, it's really, really substantially different. So that is a big ramp up and a lot of risk that they're taking trying to create this new car. And the third and really, really killer thing is batteries, right? If they're battery constrained still, and they have to be they're going to have to produce a lot of batteries for this new car because it's going to sell at even larger scale than these other cars. Now, admittedly, they can go from like a 75 kilowatt hour battery pack in the Model 3 and Model Y down to maybe something like 60 kilowatt hours. So they will be able to produce more cars for the same number of kilowatt hours of battery pack. But until they get more batteries and get that ramped up, that seems like a big loser to me because again, they're going to have to reduce the number of Model 3s and Model Ys and S's and X's that they can produce in order to make this car. And then the fourth big negative is economics. So if you're creating a car for $30,000 and selling it for $40,000, just using US figures because it's more clear in my head. Anyway, you could do it with the yuan if you want to. But anyway, if you do that, you're making, say, $10,000 per car. If you make a car that costs you $25,000 to make and sell it for $30,000, however, you're only making $5,000 per car. So it makes more sense while the demand is still there for them to make the Model 3 and Model Y where they get a higher profit margin. And then the final negative in my mind is that Tesla, I really think, is looking to make the Model 2 car not really a car for consumer sales, and I've talked about this in other videos as well. I think that they want to make this car more of a robo-taxi type car. So they're going to want to make a car that's not being sold to consumers or not targeted towards consumers as much as it is targeted towards fleets. So Hertz or Tesla or Bob's Tesla fleet or whatever it is, they would buy maybe 100,000 of these cars at a pop, and they would deploy them and they could use them as robo-taxis, etc. So I think Tesla is probably in more of a holding pattern. They want to get full self-driving completely done and dusted and make sure that it works really, really well and that they can start to get approval in communities around the world to deploy these cars without drivers. At that point, it will make sense for them to start making the Model 2. Now, I don't know the internal dates and all of this stuff, and Elon Musk has publicly proclaimed that by the end of this year, end of 2022, he expects full self-driving to be feature complete at kind of an L4 level. So, it is possible if they're thinking about a year to 18 months from now before this factory gets ramped up, that they may be skating to where the puck is going, right? They might be like, we're going to get there by the time this factory is open, and we're going to be able to start producing this Model 2 car for the purposes that we need to. But I think currently that the negatives outweigh the positives, and it would make sense for them to create another Model Y and or Model 3 line in this new factory, at least at the beginning, and then they could expand off of that, of course, and build a Model 2 line as well. So again, this is all just rumors anyway, but in my mind, it seems like Tesla might want to wait for another phase, like in the order of 2024 to 2025 to start producing these Model 2 cars, as opposed to early 2023, when also they're going to be trying to bring the Cybertruck online, and that's going to require a ton of batteries as well, and a lot of new technology. So in my mind, it doesn't make a ton of sense for Tesla to think about building yet another new type of car at the same time that they're trying to get the Cybertruck working in really good order. Again, on the positive end of things, competing in China with a less expensive car would be a good thing. And if Tesla really honestly believes that they're going to get full self-driving done by the end of 2022, then it could make sense to actually start producing this car in early to mid 2023. And of course, the resources they're expending in Texas to build the Cybertruck are really far separated from those in China to build this Model 2 car if they choose to do that. So they could actually do both of these at once. They certainly have enough cash to burn through. But the question is whether they have enough talented people and whether they have enough resources and whether they have enough batteries, etc., to do both of these tasks at the same time. So anyway, it'll be interesting. My personal prediction is that they won't be ramping the Model 2 with the initial new factory line, but that they could reserve that for like the second phase of the new factory at Tesla Giga Shanghai. Anyway, I'd be interested to know what you think. Definitely let me know in the comments what your opinion is about this. And remember, this is all just in good fun at this point. Nobody except Tesla really knows the answers to any of this stuff. So just keep it light, keep it fun. There's no reason to get too upset about it, but I definitely want to know what your opinion about this is. All right, I hope you enjoyed this episode and found it fun and interesting. If you did, please do like it so other people can find the video, and consider subscribing for more of this kind of content. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons on Patreon. Thank you all so much for your support. I really do appreciate it. I love the conversations we have, and I love the positivity of the community. So thank you. And of course, if you want to join, definitely check out the link in the description. And if you're interested in a whole bunch of really cool merch, check out our merch store. Link is in the description. We have TeslaBot t-shirts, the Tesla meme t-shirt, Success is a Possible Outcome, 4680 battery cells. All of that stuff is on t-shirts, mugs, tumblers, and on and on. So check it out. And for those of you interested in investing, check out WeBull, an amazing platform for buying and selling stocks, and now cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Dogecoin, and others. Open an account and get a free stock valued at up to $200, and fund your account and get another free stock valued at up to $1,600. Check out the link in the description and help the channel at the same time. Thank you. And finally, don't forget we are both Tesla and Amazon affiliates. If you look in the description, you can see how going shopping for a solar roof, a power wall, or anything on Amazon helps out the channel. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.